Hello everyone, welcome to this poster session, What is Minecraft Doing in My Classroom? My name is Matthew Nickerson. I am an Instructional Technology Specialist for Anne Arundel County Public Schools in Maryland for another 6 weeks or so, and then I'll be retiring and going to work for a nonprofit called Bible Study Fellowship. I will, however, continue being an I2E Professional Learning Specialist. I2E is a Microsoft Global Learning Partner. I am an MIE expert as well as an MIE Master Trainer, and I'm the author of the book, All the Microsoft Tools You Need to Transform Your Classroom, available on Amazon or from me if you happen to be here at the convention. We are going to highlight a few Twitter handles and hashtags. Number one, Microsoft EDU, as we're about to hear. Minecraft is a Microsoft product now, and I am Dad times 8 on Twitter, with the 8 spelled out, because I do in fact have 8 children. Other hashtags we'd ask you to follow, again, hashtag Microsoft EDU, Windows 10. Playcraft Learn is actually Minecraft Education's Twitter handle, and not only do you hear kind of firsthand updates from them, but lots of teachers who are using Minecraft in very creative and inventive ways will post there, so it's a great source for ideas you can use in your own classroom as well. As we just mentioned, Minecraft is a Microsoft product. Microsoft bought Minecraft in 2014. One of their stated goals at that time was to turn it into an incredibly engaging learning tool. So one thing I'm not going to talk about is just rewarding kids that finish their work with playtime. I do want to start off by talking about playtime in a moment, but let's first deal with what is Minecraft itself. And as you can see on the screen here, it's often called a sandbox. It's an open world, meaning it doesn't come with, it's not like a game that comes with a set of rules or a specific objective from Minecraft itself. You can create worlds, or you can use worlds that are already created that have specific targets or objectives, and those can be academic. It is, in that sense, a digital classroom. I have another session here at NYSCATE for using Minecraft as an immersive Hyperdoc. So it is a learning tool. Like I said, there are existing worlds that we're going to look at that the lessons are already made for you, but we'll also look at ways that you can create a lesson on absolutely anything you want. There's some special tools built in where you can link to things outside of Minecraft, so it becomes a very flexible learning tool. It is a digital modeling tool, so it's a great place for students to build things in a 3D environment. There are some subjects that particularly lend itself to being explored in Minecraft, like some elementary math concepts and geometry, multiplication, things like that. There are specific chemistry tools, there's specific coding features, but as I said, because you can link out to anywhere else on the internet, you can really teach anything you want inside of Minecraft. And like the last point says, it's a safe place for our students to be working inside of the Education Edition. Okay, why Minecraft? Well, we like to say there's a low floor and a high ceiling. We'll talk about that more in a bit. Intrinsic learning. So students are motivated to play it. I've heard stories after stories of students across the country who putting in extra time and extra effort into classwork that they turn into homework voluntarily because they're so engaged in it. Meeting students where they are, it is the #1 game of all time. So a lot of your students are playing it. Occasionally I'll have a conversation with a teacher in my district who would like it removed, and what I encourage them to do is to take ownership of it. If it's something students are playing when they're supposed to be doing other things on the device, on one hand that's a classroom management issue, but one way to manage that is to use the tool appropriately, show the students how to use it appropriately, and then you become the person who drives how they use it. You can do that without having to become an expert in the game. That's one of the unique advantages, is that students have the rare opportunity to actually be the expert. And take advantage of that. Have them teach you. Have them partner with the students who aren't as familiar with the game. Okay, allow them to be the experts. One of the ways that we'll talk about early on is student choice. In the context of universal design for learning, allowing students to choose how they will demonstrate their learning. Minecraft is a great way if they know how to use it. And along the lines of the students being the experts, you also have a chance to reach students who are not necessarily the students that you typically can reach in other ways. So it engages the gamers in your classroom, which there is a considerably high percentage of. And speaking of gamers, where we're going to start is with esports. So we're going to look at how Minecraft can be used for esports, and then we'll work our way into how we can use Minecraft as just a choice for students to be able to show what they know. And then we'll wrap up with you as the teacher leading the learning in Minecraft, starting with the most basic understanding necessary all the way up to, as you get more engaged and you become more excited about it, the kinds of things that you can build up to. So again, one of the many, many ways that Minecraft Education Edition is being used in schools is in esports. My own district in Maryland has been wanting to launch some competitive esports for a few years, but we have struggled with questions like the selection of hardware, the prohibitive cost that could require, finding appropriate games that students will want to play, but the parents and teachers will also approve of. Also related to devices, our district hasn't wanted to approve access to the Wi-Fi that would be required for many hardware platforms. And in comes Minecraft Education Edition that runs on devices that we already have, which are already on our network. It's familiar to nearly all gamers, and it's free for schools and districts that have Office 365. There are a variety of esports worlds already built into the in-game library, including a set of practice tutorials designed to build the soft skills needed for a successful team. Here we are inside the game, and there's an in-game library right here. There's different subject kits, monthly challenges, starter worlds, and even tutorial worlds here. We're going to go into subject kits, and along with the typical core subjects, we also have esports. Originally, there were just the make and model worlds, and these all are very detailed, but they all kind of follow the same format, which is two teams, the green team against the yellow team, in different scenarios, in very attractively built worlds, but it's simply a head-to-head competition between two teams, so students have to communicate and collaborate together, and then there's a method of voting on who created the better build before time runs out. There are also some practice worlds in here for your esports teams, so you can have up to 4 in this one and up to 12 different spaces for individuals, partners, or teams to practice competing on. We also have code to create. It is pretty much the same set of worlds, except that students are required to use coding to build instead of the traditional right-clicking delay blocks. There's now also a couple that come under the category of Creative Clash. Busy Bees is a little bit more like a standard video game. It is the students on one team competing with the other team for how fast they can collect nectar and fill their hive, and they are competing head-to-head synchronously. Creative Clash Speedrun takes that Pirate Cove world and it allows teams to compete asynchronously. So only one team is in this world at a time. They are timed to see how fast they can find all the gold chests. And finally, there's now, this challenge series is a set of skill building worlds. So these are designed for your teams to practice together to learn the kinds of soft skills that are required to do well competing in esports. So we touched on why you might want to use Minecraft for esports, but you may be wondering, well, why esports at all? And for many of the same reasons as any traditional sports team, but it greatly expands the students who get to take part or take advantage of those opportunities. The first year esports was adopted as a sanctioned high school sport nationwide, it jumped to the second highest number of participants behind only football. Esports does a great job of addressing the 4 C's of communication, collaboration, creativity, and critical thinking. Let's take a look at the website, education.minecraft.net. So if you are looking for either research into why using Minecraft, right here under how it works, we have a page on impact. Besides actual research, we also have testimonials from teachers and students, and like I said, research articles in here as well. Some of which deals with Minecraft in particular. Much of it, though, is about game-based learning and esports. Okay, so that is the first way that we can utilize Minecraft. Several more ways that we're going to look at. Also inside the library here are the monthly build challenges. This is a great way for you as a teacher to point out worlds that your students can use without you having to really learn how to use Minecraft. If you can just open it, share your screen, click to open the library, click to the monthly build challenges. You can have them use the search box, or you can scroll down. They are in alphabetical order here. So you can essentially assign any of these build challenges to your students. They're called monthly because if we go back to the website, we'll find that a new one comes out every month, and they are listed in chronological order on education.minecraft.net. Here inside of the in-game library, as they're added in alphabetical order. When you click on any of the lessons, you get descriptions and objectives and extension ideas, and some of the lessons have a lot more information than that. And if you click on lesson plan, this will take you out to where this lesson is located on the website, where you will find those same details like learning objectives and extensions. And a lot of times, if you scroll down, there'll be more information down here below. But the absolute least level of commitment for a teacher in Minecraft would probably be just to offer it as an option for students to use as a means to demonstrate their learning. Some of your students know and love Minecraft, but like anything else, it's not everyone's favorite. But for those who are proficient, why not offer it as a choice, as a platform for designing models, illustrating concepts, and demonstrating? There's several ways students can export what they create in Minecraft out of Minecraft. This is important so you, the teacher, won't have to actually go into each of the worlds the students are creating. So we're going to show you a couple of those tools. Here we are in a new world, and I'm going to step down here. I'm going to press E for inventory. Actually, we like to call this the everything-tory. There's a handful of items that our students will need. One is a camera, so they can take pictures inside their world. When they take pictures inside their world, those pictures are automatically saved to the portfolio. So we'll grab a portfolio. They can also be added to a book and quill. That's not done automatically, but it's easy to add them. So we'll grab a book and quill. And then there is such a thing as a sign in Minecraft. This is not just in the Education Edition. There's signs in other versions as well. But once you write on them, they're not editable. So in the Education Edition, we have different types of signage as well. And that is the slate, which is about the size of a sign. Poster, which is about twice as large, and board, think of that as a chalkboard or a billboard, that's more than 6 times the size of a slate. All right, and we're going to start with the signage. So you can place a sign in the ground. Right now the board has a little square around it down at the bottom of my screen. That's the hotbar. Think of those as things that are in your pocket, and whatever is in your hand will have a box around it. You can change that by using the scroll wheel on your mouse or by pressing the number. So this is the 4th from the left, and we'll place a slate here. All right. You can also point to a vertical surface and place signs here as well. Right, if I right-click again, I can go in there and edit that. Right, so that is a slate. These are great for labeling things. So your student just created something, and you just need to know what it is so they can create a slate and label it. If they have a little bit of explaining to do, then they might prefer to use a poster. So I'll go to slot 5. That one's a poster. You can see you can fit a lot more text on there. But if they are, say, narrating or telling a story, they have a lot more explaining to do, then a board is much, much larger. And there's our board. If needed, you can add an additional board. Maybe not right next to it, but you can tell a piece of a story, then travel on and tell another piece of the story in another scene. Okay, so that's our signage. So one of my options here is I can grab my camera and take a picture of this slate, take a picture of this slate. For your board, sometimes it takes more than one try. Now, right now I'm close enough to interact with this, so if I right click, it's going to think I want to change the board. So I can just hold down the Shift key to tell Minecraft that nope, I'm not trying to interact with the board. I'm trying to use whatever is in my hand. So I have a series of pictures here. Where did they go? Well, they went into my portfolio. So I'm going to point away from the board and right click again. And all the pictures that I've taken are in my portfolio. The newest one is always in the front. So you work your way to the back to find the oldest one. You can fit up to 2 lines typed as a caption, and you can do that for each of your pictures. So up to 2 lines underneath of that. If you are not familiar with Immersive Reader, anywhere inside of Minecraft where you see text, so if I'm looking at a board or any other type of sign, or here inside my portfolio, there's text, I can click to open the Immersive Reader. It has all of the tools that Immersive Reader has in anything Microsoft, as well as a lot of other third parties. It is an entire suite of reading accessibility tools. If you're not familiar with it, I encourage you to check it out. When you're ready, you can click Export, and then Windows Explorer will open and ask you where you want to save this to. It will save as a PDF document. So this is where the student can save this outside of Minecraft to share with their teacher, so the teacher never even has to go into Minecraft to see what you've made. All right, but what if you need more writing than that? Well, we did show you that you can write on the board and take a picture of that. Another option is to use the book and quill. Here I have unlimited space, unlimited pages to do my writing. And if I click on the pencil icon, I can choose any of the pictures that are in my portfolio and insert them here in my book. So a student can take a picture of what they've built, insert it here into the book, and write here, and then they don't have to worry about, am I capturing the whole sign? Am I missing any of my text? How big is text? I mean, you look at the size of the text here versus the size of the text here. You can save the pictures for your actual structures and do your writing in here. So that's the advantage of the book and quill over the portfolio, is that you can have more extensive writing here. By the way, you as the teacher can create a book and quill, leave directions. This is a great way to do a scavenger hunt, some clues here and a picture of what they're looking for, and then you can leave the book for your students to find. If you want them to add to it, don't sign it. If you don't want them messing it up, sign it, because what happens when you sign it is it now becomes no longer editable. If you want to export the book and quill out of Minecraft, technically you can't export a book and quill. You have to sign it, give it a name, and it tells you when you sign it, it will no longer be editable. So once I sign it, notice it changed its appearance down in my hotbar, and now it looks like a little shiny kind of enchanted book. There's no quill there anymore. It's not writable. It's not editable. Now I have an export button. Now that export functions exactly like the portfolio. I can export it, save it somewhere on my device, share it with my teacher via Teams or OneDrive or Google Drive or an LMS for students to turn in digital files. Again, Immersive Reader's right here. So that's a couple ways that students can export what they're using in the world out of the world. If instead you want to record videos, there is not a native tool inside of Minecraft for recording videos, but there's other tools like Flipgrid and Stream that enable students to narrate as they record their screen. So I recently saw a demonstration showing how to multiply fractions, and it went a little bit like this. So I'm going to stick a sign in the ground. 3/4 times 4/5. And the way I might show this inside of Minecraft is 3/4. All right, so I'm going to say along the bottom 3. I'll use my glass as the fourth. So 3 out of 4, and then times 4/5. So I'm going to go up 4. 4 out of 5. So I've got 4/5 times 3/4. And now what I'm going to do is fill in the rest of this space. And now if we count these blocks up, we will see that we actually have 20 blocks, and of those blocks, we'll find that 12 of them are colored. So I can come in here and edit this. All right, 12 colored blocks out of 20 blocks. I could, as a student, take a picture of this sign and take a picture of my work here, but you or your student may prefer to have them talking through the process, and so both Stream and Flipgrid are great options for turning on narration, turning on the screen recording, and just talking through how they set this up and how they solve this multiplication problem with fractions. It's one example of a use case where video might be preferable to the in-game picture taking. All right, so far we have basically looked at options for students to use Minecraft for teachers that really don't want to learn anything about Minecraft themselves. When you are ready to dip your toes in the water, as we've seen, Minecraft has both an in-game library as well as a larger library of lessons on the website education.minecraft.net. And back to the library. Subject kits, we kind of skimmed over this earlier, but you have science and math, computer science, history and culture, language and literacy as your core subjects. We also have climate and sustainability, art and design, social emotional, equity and inclusion, and computer science. So if we just pick one like science right here, you see we have lessons in chemistry, we have lessons in biology, then we have some that are more general science. We have some ecology here. Even touch on physics a little bit. Redstone is circuitry, so anytime you see redstone, it mimics circuitry and the creation of simple machines. Right, so you can see there's a fair number of lessons here, but if we head back to the website, under Teach with Minecraft, you explore lessons. There's, again, a couple different ways to search for lessons that will result in more or less actual results. Let's stick with science since that was what we already looked at. If I click on science, I'm not going to get an overwhelming number of hits just from clicking on that. You can see I have some try these first, so some exemplary lessons here. And then there's some collections, so these will have multiple lessons within them. 11 lessons on the International Space Station. So we have the try these first, we have the collections, and then more featured resources. And if I click load more, some more featured resources will actually load. But if you instead will do an advanced search and then click the drop down and just choose science as a checkbox, we'll see there's hundreds of lessons here. Now, when you do it this way, I will tell you, we said science. If we scroll down, we'll find that not everything here necessarily is science. 3D fractions, that sounds more like math. At least 80 to 90% of our results here will actually be science. Not always in English, but I would say probably out of those 531, it's probably at least 450 of them that really are science and are English. Now, when you're looking inside the game, everything that you click on will have a world. Not all of the lessons here will have a world, so sometimes they are just a lesson plan because all you really need is a flat grassland world and there's nothing that needs to be created ahead of time. Students can just build in any world. They don't need a special world for it. So some of what you'll find online here will have a world, some of them will not. Sometimes you'll find that world in the right-hand column here. Sometimes you'll find it under external reference. In this case, this is a sway that includes several videos and a Kahoot at the end. And you can also search by standards as well. So you can choose your country, a state. I happen to work in Maryland. Once you choose your grade level and subject, then it loads the standards here and you can select by your state standards. And here we have a lesson that does come with its own world. We have the Open in Minecraft button right here. And we have objectives and guiding ideas, student activities, performance expectations, and again, external standards. Lots of external references, lots of resources here. And again, the world file is the same as this button right here. So if I click to open this in Minecraft, a helpful dialog pops up allowing me to open it. My device understands that that is a Minecraft world file, so it imports it into Minecraft and opens it for me. And here we are inside of that world. If I escape out, we'll see that it is now inside of the area known as My Worlds. So if I view My Worlds, that's now here, saved on this device when I am logged into it. So as we've seen, Minecraft has both an in-game library and a larger library of lessons on the website, education.minecraft.net, where there are hundreds of standards-aligned lessons in fantastic, fully immersive worlds. Of course, you will want to personally explore any instructional materials that you want your students to use before they try them out. They are largely ready to run with just a little guidance about where they will access it from. The in-game library is again a subset of the larger selection of lessons on the website. So the next level of teacher engagement is to modify these pre-created lessons. Let someone else do the heavy lifting of the design work and just change some signs and some dialogues and some web links. So this is not actually a world that I found and modified. This is one that I actually built myself, but it'll allow me to show you what it would be like for you to take this world and modify it yourself. So these are non-player characters and they are programmable, and these are signs that you could click on here and change what they say. Same thing with these NPCs. This one leads to a website for them to read an article. I haven't added the text in here yet. This is a video for them to watch, and this links to a OneNote notebook for them to work on. So I can change my settings here so that these characters become editable. My world builder status is now true. I am a world builder. So I can click on here and I can change the dialogue. Now I can type in here I can go into advanced settings and change where these URLs point to. If I want to add a new website in here, I can throw in a link to, I wouldn't go to just flipgrid.com, I'd go to a specific page in Flipgrid and tell them to record a response. Now when I turn World Builder off, click on like a student, I can see, oh, there's a new button here, which I don't actually want. So if you're going to do this with an existing world, what I would recommend is make a copy of the world. When we exit here, I'll show you how to do that. It's pretty straightforward. You can make a copy of an existing world, and then you can go in here and you can just tweak things. You don't have to build the whole world yourself. I built a temple in here in ancient Greece and actually modified these guys to, this is supposed to be a toga, so I modified their outfits. That's a little more advanced. But you can find websites that will give you directions for how to do things like that. But make a copy of that existing world and then edit it and make it do what you want it to do. So again, these are non-player characters. They are incredibly versatile tools inside the Education Edition that you as a world builder, which just means editor, can customize. So that means if you can't find a Minecraft lesson that teaches exactly what you need, you can make it teach exactly what you need. Because non-player characters can link to any URL, you can use Minecraft to just drive a narrative, tell a story, engage the students that way, and still connect to any other digital tools that you use. As we saw with this NPC, you can link to articles, online databases, digital text, videos, interactive videos. If you want to do vocabulary practice in Quizlet, or give them a full lesson in Nearpod, Hyperdoc, or Smarch Lumio, NPCs can handle that. And remember, every single file in Office 365 and Google have a URL, so you can link to PowerPoint and Word, OneNote, and even Teams within Minecraft. If you want to try out the new Teams reading progress, you can't link directly to an assignment, but when you post an assignment to Post tab, you can link to a post, which is essentially the same thing as linking to the assignment. So that's how you do it. So you can create a reading assignment or any other assignment in Teams, post it, and then copy that link and paste it in here, and you can go right from Minecraft into an activity in Teams, and then come on back in here. So once you've done that, once you've modified some other worlds, you'll find it's not that much more work to just create these NPCs yourself. There's one right there. You already saw me creating signs earlier. So the kinds of things that you use to drive the lesson are right here. At the beginning of the session in the PowerPoint, we mentioned Minecraft has a low floor and a high ceiling. Maybe it would be more appropriate to say it has no ceiling because the sky really is the limit. There's so much more you can do with redstone circuitry to create simple machines, to do things like teleport a player to the next task, or to give them an item. Okay, you can actually program NPCs to do those things as well. You can change the appearance of your character or an NPC, like I have my Nick Fury, or I also have a Captain America skin on there, and you saw my attempt at putting a toga on the NPCs in this Greek city-states escape room. So if you are the distraught teacher right here, wondering what Minecraft is doing in your classroom, hopefully now you have some ideas why you might actually want it to be in your classroom, as opposed to contacting your IT saying, how can we block this to keep our students from getting it? Again, take the bull by the horns, take control of Minecraft, and turn it into the powerful and engaging tool that it can be. Because of that ability to link outside of Minecraft, it really does have the ability to teach absolutely any content whatsoever. All right, so I do go a little more in depth. We have a session on using Minecraft as an immersive hyperdoc. We called it Hypercraft. So if you want to dig more into that concept of having an entire lesson customized inside of a Minecraft world, you're of course more than welcome to attend that session. Again, that's called Hypercraft. It's at 10:45 on Monday the 22nd in the Hyatt Regency. So thanks for watching. I hope that you found this valuable, and if you did, please check out my book, All the Microsoft Tools You Need to Transform Your Classroom. You can find it. It's on Amazon, but it's at bit.ly 75 uses for 365. It's kind of the shortcut there. And again, places to follow. Minecraft is at PlayCraftLearn. We've got Microsoft EDU. I'm at DadX8 on Twitter. And I2E EDU is the company that I do training with, mostly Minecraft and Teams, but really anything Microsoft related. All right, thanks again, and enjoy the rest of your conference.